Three young men laughed at an old mechanic's rusty truck. 10 minutes later, that same man would be the only person who could get their expensive car moving. At first, Walter didn't even notice them. He had stopped for gas before heading to the repair shop, where he'd spent most of his life. But the young men noticed him. They looked at his faded truck, then at their shiny sports car, and immediately decided they knew everything about him. To them, the truck meant one thing: failure. They couldn't see the decades of work hidden beneath its rust.
One of them pointed toward Walter's pickup. The others laughed. Walter heard them, looked over briefly, and simply went back to pumping gas. That reaction confused them. They expected anger. Instead, the old mechanic behaved as if their opinion wasn't worth carrying home.
Then something completely unexpected happened. The young men climbed back into their sports car, ready to leave, and the engine wouldn't start.
They laughed nervously at first. Maybe it was a glitch. Maybe the battery needed a moment. Then they tried again, and again.
Suddenly, the expensive car wasn't impressive anymore. It was a very expensive object sitting completely useless in a gas station parking lot.
They opened the hood and stared at the engine. None of them knew what they were looking at.
Then one of them looked across the parking lot toward the rusty pickup. They had been laughing at just minutes earlier. Walter noticed them staring. He could have ignored them. Honestly, after the way they'd treated him, nobody would have blamed him. But Walter grabbed his old toolbox anyway. No lecture, no smirk, no reminder that he'd been mocked. He simply walked over. He lifted the hood, listened for a few seconds, no lecture, checked a connection, and immediately found what the others had missed. He simply walked over. A loosened connection, that's all it was. Walter tightened it with the confidence of someone who had solved problems like this thousands of times. The driver pressed the button one more time. The engine suddenly roared to life, and nobody in that parking lot was laughing anymore. One of the young men reached into his wallet. He pulled out several $100 bills and offered them to Walter. Walter looked at the money, smiled, and gently pushed the young man's hand back. He hadn't helped them because he wanted anything. Something had changed. The same men who couldn't stop laughing earlier were now standing quietly in front of a man they suddenly respected. And Walter never mentioned the insults. He didn't need to. His actions had already said everything his words could have. Before leaving, Walter looked at the young driver, gave him a friendly nod, and headed back toward his old pickup. The rusty truck started with one simple turn of the key. Walter pulled onto the highway, while the young men watched him disappear. Maybe the real lesson wasn't about cars at all. It's easy to judge someone by what you see. Much harder to understand what you can't.
So tell me honestly, would you have helped people who mocked you? Comment below, and if you believe character matters more than appearances, follow and subscribe.